Okay, so this is another example of an algorithm's output question. Again, it should be easy marks as long as you don't make any silly mistakes, and in which case it does end up normally you either get 2 or 0. So make sure you keep a track of your variables. Make sure you write down the outputs exactly as they appear on the screen. You're only going to be handing in what goes in the output window down here. Don't put any speech marks in. Don't put the word output. Don't put line numbers or anything like that. So to start with, then you can see at the top here we've got a variable being created called total. It's going to be an integer. We've then also got a variable being created called quart. And on line 3 we're now going to be setting total to be 1 and quart to be 0. So we're going to be keeping a track of these. Now obviously on the screen they're just going to change to the other numbers. You'll need to cross yours out as you're writing them on paper. If you're writing them on paper as a draft, if you're doing them on the computer, just make sure you're carefully keeping a track of them. So our fourth line of code, we're starting to output something to the screen. It says start of program, capital P, capital S. Make sure that that's how you write it as your answer. We then started a loop. We started to repeat something. I tend to look ahead then to see when I'm going to finish this repeat. So you can see that's down here. So it's until the total is greater than or equal to 30. Make sure you take into account it's greater than or equal to. Sometimes they'll put that in there just to make sure you understand what that means. So next line down then, total is now going to become total times 2. So total is currently 1, so if we times it by 2, it's obviously changed to 2. Our next line down then says output total space equals space followed by the total. So I've output total equals 2 because that's what's stored in our variable. Repeat until total is greater than 30 or equal to 30, and it's not, so we're going back up to the top, and total is now going to become total times 2. So total is now going to become 4. It's going to output that as it did before to the screen and check if it's above 30, which it's not. So it does it again, and of course total now changes to 8 and it outputs it to the screen. It's still not greater than or equal to 30, so it does it again and outputs it to the screen. Checks it one last time, it's still not above 30 or equal to 30, so it times it by 2. Notice now though that our total has gone to 32. We still output that to the screen though. We don't instantly end the loop because we haven't got to the line that checks it yet. So we're still going to output total equals 32. Repeat until total is greater than or equal to 30, which it now is, so we don't need to go around that again. And we're going to start to do something with the quart. So quart is now going to be total divided by 4. So total is 32, dividing that by 4 gives us 8. We then output in quarter equals quart, with a capital Q and the spaces either side of the equals. And then finally you're going to output the words end of program, making sure your capital letters are in the correct place. Now these are some of the types of answers that I see. This first one, it doesn't output the word output, therefore you don't write that down. It wouldn't output the speech marks. You should be aware that the speech marks are telling us that that's a string literal, so that wouldn't appear. As with the line numbers example down here, you don't need to put these, they wouldn't be output. This is what you should be writing as your answer, just the outputs from the program.